It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
Right now, Giannis, he want to be Billy Badass. He don't have friends. He don't reach out to people. He don't do all that nonsense. I get all that, right? But if they're trying to get LeBron, he got to put his pride aside. At some point, you got to jump off the porch and you got to pick up that phone and call somebody. Sometimes you have to get uncomfortable. And I think the best destination right now for what LeBron James is looking for, if he goes to Miami, which he should, he will be that primary ball handler and that guy that he wants to be.
There's ESPN's Kendrick Perkins trying to push LeBron to Miami. Team up with Giannis and Bam Adebayo. Do they have enough shooting? Do they have enough ball handling? I mean, LeBron will have a lot to do there. There's no doubt about that. If you go to Philly, there's more talent, but everybody's got to share the ball, and is that really going to work? And you can say, is Embiid going to stay healthy? But, man, I wonder if Giannis is going to stay healthy. Giannis played 36 games last year, and before that, 67, 73, 63, 67, 61, 63. Do you see a trend there? Low 60s. He's going to miss at least 15 and probably 20 games. And he's only getting older, so he's in his 30s now. He's 31. He'll turn 32 early in the season in December. Can you count on him being healthy in the playoffs? If Embiid isn't healthy, you've still got a bunch of guys who can play. Now maybe you don't have the size and you're doomed there. It does seem like Miami now. Miami has come out. The Heat have confirmed. And a team would never lie, especially Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. I mean, they simply would not lie. If they confirm it, to the bank, make the deposit. There's no chance that check is bouncing. They have confirmed that the LeBron James introductory press conference YouTube video was published accidentally. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. You just confirmed a thing I didn't ask about. I asked if he's already decided he's coming. We published that accidentally. I know. You didn't publish it on purpose 5 days before the press conference. Hey, let's publish this and just mess everything up. And that is not how they talk in South Florida. I cleaned that up for you. So here on the Wasatch Front, we're wired different, okay? All right? Special. It's different. The Heat confirm it was published accidentally. I can confirm my car smashed into your car. Yeah, but I asked if you were texting and looking down from the road. I can confirm our car smashed into each other. I know. All right, longtime Trail Blazers broadcaster Kevin Calabro parts ways with the team due to a subprime offer. Do you see what he did there? Wow, what a big old, just a big old cheap shot middle finger. A subprime offer. I see what you did. That's a financial joke right there. You took a shot at the owner. The Carolina Hurricanes owner, Tom Condon, has purchased the Portland Trail Blazers and is currently going around to everyone saying, mine, 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 my money. Let a bunch of vice presidents go. It looks like he's going to let most, if not all, of the broadcasters go. The radio may be simulcast or broadcast off the road, which is not the way the NBA does it. It is the way MLS does it. It's the way I called the game last night for RSL. But you see, the NBA has a lot more money. And so it's supposed to be done at a certain standard. And most famously, he's telling the city of Portland, the county of Multnomah, and the state of Oregon, mine! My arena, you pay for it, and go. So we're waiting to see how that works out. Now, I have seen some reporting. We're trying to get Bill Orm on the show, and it'll probably happen next week while I'm on vacation because it doesn't look good today. But Bill was way out in front of this. Congrats to Bill. He said he saw something coming. He took a lot of heat from fans on social media. I know Bill from when he wrote at the Salt Lake Tribune, and I've followed him on social media wherever he's gone, down to Southern California, back to Portland, where he's from. Home, the calling is strong, and Bill heard it. Now, there is some reporting out there that the NBA owners aren't excited about letting him move. Hey, Seattle and Vegas, and there's one quote, I like Tom, but I like $200 million more. You could be their share. But again, they're not answering the question I'm asking. Will the Blazers move? I'm not going to vote for them to move to Vegas. Well, there's other places in America to move. Rumors about Nashville, which honestly I'd be a little lukewarm on. I don't know. Kansas City, I might be a little more excited about Kansas City. Kansas City's already built an arena. They just have to give you the sweetheart lease. You won't own the arena, but you go in there and sign for 20, 25, 30 years, whatever. They give you a sweetheart deal. They've already built it. They're already paying for it. Seems like that's slam dunk, ready to go. Now, you could go to Nashville and maybe the same thing because they already have an arena for hockey, so can they put you in there? But then you're the second tenant. You don't control the dates. They may be about to get Major League Baseball. Is Nashville got enough money for the NFL and Major League Baseball and the NHL and the NBA and Major League Soccer? And, come on. That might be a little oversaturated market there. Now, there's also speculation, and this is the best, that he would move the team to Raleigh. Well, I imagine the Charlotte Hornets would be thrilled with that. I don't know what the politics there would be. And Nashville and Kansas City are getting all excited. Bad news, guys. He's already got access to an arena in Raleigh. Calm down there in KC. All right, well, we'll see how all that plays out. Plenty of drama there. Victor Wembanyama explains his decision to take less money from the Spurs. $252 million extension. It's about keeping the team in a good spot. Left about $50 million on the table for them to build the rest of the roster with. It's a smart play. I'm surprised more athletes don't do it. I think it's a big issue in the NBA now with these supermax extensions that are available but put the team in a bad spot. And I think the place that we see it right now also is at quarterback in the NFL. You can go out and get between $50 and $60 million. Dak Prescott's the top of the market at $60 million. There's about 10 quarterbacks at 50. Yeah, and only half of them made the playoffs. Because half of the guys aren't good enough to compensate for lack of talent around them because you got such a high percentage of the cap. How did Sam Darnold do it? He's not that good. Well, he's getting paid 30-something million, and that's another 20 to 30 million bucks for the team to use to build an awesome defense. And last time I checked, you know what Seattle had? An awesome defense. Or, star running backs, receivers, whatever. But build out the rest of the roster. Take less, and then you can make more because you're a star because you win a lot. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
I have crossed paths with Aaron Donald, and what's special is we have a really special relationship, and it's way bigger than football. I've heard him say it before, and it means the world to me, and I feel the same. It's family with us. He's done so much for me. I love the man he is. I love the husband, the father, the son. He represents a lot of the things that are right. And what he's going to do is he is thinking about this. He's going to go through his process. And the one thing about Aaron Donald is what he does it full speed ahead.
That's Sean McVay, the Rams coach, who when he first starts talking, honestly sounds like a podcaster. He's screaming, he's shouting. Oh, wait, that's Sean McVay. He's probably just excited because getting Aaron Donald back and adding him to that defense, that'd be a good thing. You know why they didn't go to their Super Bowl last year? Their defense, their offense is awesome. But the D could not stop Seattle. Now, they've gone out, they've made major adjustments. He would only be the second best addition to their defensive line, so that would be awesome. I actually believe this. Again, I don't think, they're telling the whole story. Is he going to go through a process? Yeah, of course he will. And I bet that process involves, I'm not going to the start of training camp because that sucks. Now, miss a couple weeks of training camp. Okay. I am curious as the NFL season gets longer, and the Rams can be a playoff team. Does he want to come back even later and save his body? Is he more interested in playing 12 games than 17? I don't know the answer to that. I think it's obvious that the start of training camp, no thank you. Now, he hasn't played in the league a couple of years. I would think there'd be an advantage to some training camp. Got to be something. No matter how mentally tough you are and all that, you got to have your legs, and you can't have lower body injuries. You can't have soft tissue injuries. And you can be as tough as you want. You pull a hamstring or a calf, quad injury. You kids, there used to be a running back named Emmitt Smith, and he was awesome. And he is a Cowboy, and I don't like to say nice things about the Cowboys. But Emmitt Smith was so good. If you say anything other than Emmitt Smith was awesome, you're just a liar. And Emmitt Smith, once upon a time, jacked up his shoulder. Turned out it was separated. And they had to play the New York Football Giants in the last game of the year to win and get a playoff bye and a division title and all that. And he ran for like 220 yards when everybody was wondering if he was going to play. And the next year, he had, I think it was a quad injury. It was definitely a leg injury, though. And he got asked, well, you're going to have a great game. He said, I don't know. And they're like, one of the reporters followed up with wait, last year you said this about your shoulder and you ran for 220 yards. I mean, why won't you do it again? And Emmitt Smith looked at him and said, because I don't run on my shoulder. See? Now that's the kind of answer we need, not this, the YouTube video was published accidentally. Yeah, no kidding. Thanks. No, this is what we need. And then Emmitt, I think, ran for like 30 yards because when your legs are messed up, I mean, what can you do? There's some things you just can't tough out. So he's got to put in enough time to get the body right and to be able to endure the rigors of the season. How he pulls that off, that'll be an interesting decision. I think we're going to see him play at some point. The question is when and how much, and will his body be able to take the beating? And maybe they only play him a certain number of snaps and he's him back. There's a lot of things to consider there. Chiefs unveiled the renderings of a planned $3 billion dome in Kansas. Domes used to be the concrete bunker at the end of the mall. Don't know if you ever had the misfortune of going to Tropicana Field or the late and lousy, not the late great, the late and lousy Seattle Kingdom. Zero atmosphere. When the nukes come, we'll be okay. We'll have to, eat popcorn from the concession stand, but now everybody's going to glass. And first it was glass at the end. Famously, Dallas decided to put the glass, between the field and the sun. What could go wrong? Minnesota, I think, did it better. Put the glass at the north end where the sun won't be shining in, but let some light in. And now we're seeing these translucent roofs, which when they first tried it in the original Astrodome, turned it into a hothouse, and moss started growing on all the seats, and so that grossed everybody out. Now they seem to have managed it a little better because that's what they've done in L.A., where it's not a complete dome. It's more like a canopy over the field. So Kansas City's going to try that, and they're making a point of saying they're building it up wide enough to hold soccer there. They want to, and I really think if they don't put the field it's got to be natural grass. Put in natural grass and build it so you can roll that thing outdoors. Now that's tough in the winter. It's not as easy as it is in Vegas and Arizona, but nonetheless you have to have access to a concrete floor if you want to make it the multi-purpose building it can be and try to get your money back. You're singing $3 billion into this. You need a lot of events to break even on that thing. So they'll put that on the other side of downtown. They currently play 20 or 30 minutes east of downtown, and they're going to go over. They haven't picked the exact site, but they're probably going to end up by the NASCAR track and the soccer field, and there's some big furniture mart and mall over on the west side. So it'll be in Kansas, and they get their new stadium. Tyreek Hill posts a workout video, says still no power in his leg 10 months after surgery. You're thinking, who does Tyreek Hill play for? Because he used to be with the Chiefs, he used to be with the Dolphins. The reason you can't remember who he plays for is because he hasn't signed with anybody. He's a free agent. So 100% to the honesty here, ripping all the other people for, we posted accidentally. When you say you have no power in the leg, you have no chance of getting signed in the NFL. But, hey, there's the honesty. Tyreek's not messing around with that. So I guess points for that. It's 10 months after surgery, and the legs aren't right. The leg isn't right. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
Would you quit your job before interviewing for another job or being offered another job? No, nobody would. But we have a portal that you can go in with a do not contact. I'm going to quit my job where I'm getting paid, and I'm going to go in saying I need a new job, but nobody can call me to interview. Like, what have we created? And let's not act like recruiting in college football for the last 100 years is the most moral thing, right, that's ever been existed. I mean, like, what are we talking about here? The model obviously has been broken, and I'm all for everybody being on the same playing field and doing the same things. I get it. But I think that's in any job, right? Like coaches, we're under contract. You don't think other ADs are calling us during the year? Same ones that are about all this stuff are the same ones calling coaches, right, to come to other schools, right, and everything. So it's everywhere. It's in every profession. So I'm not saying I've got all the answers. I'm not saying that at all. We go within the rules of the program and how the flow, just like when you're on the interstate and people are flying by you, what do you start doing? You're going to get hit. In this profession, you're going to get fired, right? So I'm not saying that. But I think there are a lot of people that are doing an unbelievable job, Greg being one, right, to make sure that, all right, everything's catching up. College football is constantly changing, all those type of things. So hopefully we'll all, decide on what's fair for everybody.
Well, that was really good until right at the end. They're not going to decide on what's fair for everybody. It's going to remain the Wild Wild West. It's going to remain a dog-eat-dog world. And the only thing Pete Golding didn't say in there that he could have added was Dabo needs to shut his big old pie hole. That's it. Dabo Swinney's been complaining about tampering allegations. Tampering happens. You may not like it, but is it really tampering? I mean, that's an excellent point about, the system being broken. Are you going to quit your job without talking to somebody? So now, have you signed a contract? When can you talk? Is there an exclusive negotiating window? There's some details Pete glossed over in there. But realistically, ADs are calling coaches all the time. And if they're not calling coaches, they're calling agents. And if they're not calling agents, they're having people call agents. So there's all sorts of workarounds. And it is the Wild Wild West, and that is how it works. And I get that Dabo doesn't like it, but it isn't changing, and Dabo needs to change. Or, at 6-6, he's built a ton of goodwill. I don't think he gets fired, 2 games into the season like UCLA's head coach. But you don't get to go 6-6 forever. So where is the, the water's going to start heating up. I don't know how fast, but that was quite the rant from Pete Golding. Sounds like he's very quotable. He's following another quotable coach because obviously he's following Lane Kiffin. And by the way, as far as Ole Miss and LSU, and there are hard feelings there with Lane leaving before the season was over, and obviously there was tampering there. And obviously Lane wanted to go and left the team hanging going into the playoffs, although they won an advance to the semis without him. Lane and I are great, Pete Golding says. So if you're looking for drama, go look somewhere else. John Summerall says Florida quarterback does not need to be Tim Tebow. Man, they're chasing ghosts at Florida. They've had a couple of great runs. Steve Spurrier had a great run, obviously in the 90s. Urban Meyer came in, had a great run in the 2000s, and the last 15 years have been different. And you really cut them in half. They had a run where they had a lot of 10 and 11 win teams, but they weren't playing for the national title. And they got mad at those coaches and fired them. Basically, they've gone through 4 coaches since Urban, and everybody gets about 4 years, and then they're out. And Billy Napier went out with a losing record. Yikes, he had 1 winning season in 4 years. They've had 1 winning season in the last 5. They've had a couple of 6-6s and lost the bowl game to finish 6-7, but nonetheless, 4 of their last 5 losing seasons. So you don't have to be one of the greats. Come in and be pretty good. They need to have a 9-win season and then build off that. Greg Sankey reiterated the frustration. The SEC's focus will be making the system better. He wants better legislation. I feel like Greg Sankey's trying to thread the needle here. Don't back down on what you said about breaking away, but realizing, boy, if you break away, you start dominoes falling. And, do other conferences and other schools say, fine, you can't play in the men's basketball tournament, so you lose that money and that access, and you've invested a lot in basketball. You can't play in women's hoops. You can't play baseball. You can't play softball. You can't play women's gymnastics. You can't compete for championships in all those sports. And the SEC does very well in all of those sports. I mean, they are, with the Pac-12 gone, they inherit the Conference of Champions thing. They are winning a lot in multiple Olympic sports. So do they really want to do that? And probably some of those schools do because they're so into football. But it gets complicated, so reiterating his frustrations, we'll see if they calm down on the breakaway talk. I expect they will. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
He swings and drives it high, deep to right field. Back goes Canzone. It is gone. Sal Stewart drives one just over the right field fence. A 3-run opposite field. Go-ahead home run for the rookie.
The 3-0 pitch, high fly ball, left center field, deep, back, Crow looking up, gone! Ha! You lead! 3-run, 2-out, 3-run home run, 4-1 Tigers.
The pitch. A looper to right, caught by Holiday, and that's your ball game. And that's where the winning streak ends for Boston. At 15 games, stopped by the Orioles, and Baltimore grabs a 4-2 road trip out of the gate in the second half.
The Boston Red Sox beat the Orioles 6-3 in the first of 2 games. They made it 15 straight wins, and then that is it because the Orioles win the second game 5-1. So 15 wins, longest streak in the major leagues in 5 years. Cardinals had a 15-gamer 5 years ago. That's awesome. It's put them in a playoff spot. The streak had to end. It was going to get snapped at some point. The Orioles avoid the sweep. And now the question is, Boston, what do you do with the next 15 games? Where do you go from here? You're in the mix now. Yankees also split 2 games. They lost to the Pirates 5-3 and beat the Pirates 2-0. They are both chasing the Rays. Tampa Bay doesn't have the money, but, man, they make a lot of smart baseball decisions. They beat the Blue Jays 4-2, so they picked up a half game on both teams. The Diamondbacks trying to make a wild card push in the very congested National League wild card race. They thump the Athletics 15-5. The big news out of the National League West, Shohei Ohtani had a bullpen session. He is missing another start. The Dodgers beat Philly 9-5. He had been scheduled to start against the Phillies in the finale of the series, but the left knee irritation that had him miss a start before the All-Star game, had him miss the All-Star game, had him miss this one as well. He last pitched July 3rd, so we're at 20 days and counting now. And it really, they gave him a lubricant injection in his knee. There's a thing that they can shoot in there that's supposed to act like cartilage and cushion it and reduce the irritation if you're a little bone on bone or if you have some bone spur or something like that causing an irritation. Sounds a little, I don't know, gruesome to me, but I have read about multiple athletes getting this. I think this is the kind of thing that's been done probably about 15 years now, and I think they're getting better at it. The only person I know who had it locally, waiting for a name of famous Ute, Cougar, or Jazz player, no, it was actually former Jazz coach Jerry Sloan, who had bad knees from his playing days, and I think he had that done. Ohtani did play. He was DH. He was 0 for 4. And it does seem like if the knee's going to bother him every time it pitches and doesn't bother him when bats, well, just let him hit 50 homers. I mean, it's not that complicated, is it? I mean, he's so dominant as a pitcher, though. They want him in the playoffs to come in and slam the door. So, Dodgers scheduled to visit the White House today. It's an off day, and then they begin a 3-game series of the Mets on Friday. So later today we should find out how many, if any, Dodgers decide to show up and how many, if any, Dodgers are going. I assume they know some people are going. I don't think they'd have a team-wide boycott and set themselves up for that kind of embarrassment. So hopefully somebody's done their homework there before they light that match and start that national discussion. That'd be a lot of fun for everybody. So we'll keep our eye on Shohei. 20 games and counting. So, all right. The Bees got beat again. The Bees have dropped 2 in a row to the Omaha Storm Chasers. The Dodgers affiliates in town. 8-3 the final. Same 2 teams tonight at 6:35 here on The Zone. Tony Park's on the call. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Utah.
Eric Weddle has been named to Utah football's 2026 Ring of Honor. He came in, made a big splash as a freshman. He's one of those freshmen, Kyle Whittingham. Kyle, any of the new guys able to contribute? Yeah, watch out for Eric Weddle. Well, he should have told Oregon's quarterback before Eric Weddle launched himself and knocked the ball loose and skidded seriously flew like Superman with a cape on. Skidded on the ground 5 yards past him, knocked the quarterback on the ground, and the ball's sitting there spinning like a wide receiver just scored a touchdown and gave it a spin and spun it, spinning like a top. The rest of Oregon has a perfect pocket, so the O linemen have their back to it and don't know the ball is there. The D linemen can't get to it because they're all getting blocked. Eric came through on a blitz, and Eric comes skidding to a stop on the turf, gets on all fours, hustles back, and beats everybody to the ball and recovers it. And that was like game 3, I think. So, Kyle, apparently you're right about this Eric Weddle kid, and he was awesome for 4 years, and then went off to the NFL, and he was great, and then he retired, and then came back and won a Super Bowl with the Rams. And so if you're going to have a Ring of Honor, you need to put Eric Weddle in it pretty quick, or you end up looking pretty silly. So the Utes are going to put him in pretty quick, so it'll look pretty silly. Weddle joins Alex Smith, former head coach Ron McBride, and former wide receiver Roy Jefferson, an exclusive group, the 4th guy in. So there you go. DJ and PK.
Hashtag RSL.
Here comes LAFC forward. Quick combination play, top of the area. Son, left foot. He shoots, he scores. Tucks it inside the post. And he's got 2 goals in 2 games. He's on the board, and LAFC's in front in the 11th minute. Long run by Diego Luna, but not enough players defending with him. LAFC will play right through everybody. They're stretched in behind for Boanga. Boanga in the attacking third. Boanga to the 18. Yedlin taking away his right foot. Cuts back around him. Yedlin goes down. Boanga shoots. He scores. And it's 2-0 LAFC. 40th minute. Corner for RSL. Saba plays it to Engel. Unmarked on the near side. Shot off the post and in. And RSL pulls one back. 86th minute. Of all people. Who knew? Real Salt Lake goes to LAFC and gets beat again. It's been a house of horrors for them. They lose 3-1. You know, it's funny when Seattle comes in here and no matter how well they're playing, they get beat by RSL every year. That's hilarious. Now, when RSL, no matter how well they're playing, goes to LAFC and gets beat every year, doesn't seem as funny, does it? Really hypocritical analysis there. But nonetheless, I think that's how most people feel. It is a house of horrors. LAFC, I think they're headed for first place. They were 5th during the World Cup break. They played the Galaxy Friday night in El Tráfico. They won the Battle of L.A. 3-0, and then they turn around and win this 3-1, and they are now in 3rd place in the West. And the top 2 teams, Vancouver and San Jose, both dropped points yesterday. So I think we're going to see LAFC in the top spot here before long, especially with those 2 guys. Son, the South Korean star who played in England for a long time, but now in his 30s is here in MLS. 2 goals, 9 assists. He scored the first goal. Denny Boanga, the Frenchman, scored the second goal, and then they were trying to combine for the 3rd one, and the deflection off Yedlin, unfortunate own goal there. Not much you're going to do when you're stretched and facing your own goal and in trouble. So 3-1 the final. LAFC. Now, in the postgame, Pablo was more upbeat than he thought he would be. I thought LAFC got the early goal, and then they just got to sit in like they wanted to do and wait for a chance to counter where they're deadly. I thought the whole thing just played into their hands. It was just textbook. If their coach Mark DeSantos could have drawn anything up, he would have drawn that up, except the shutout. They wouldn't have given up the late goal with a couple minutes left. But other than that, it was everything they wanted. Pablo Mastroeni thought the team executed better as it went along and just critical to finishing. They created chances. They should have scored right before halftime, and they didn't. Salons had an open goal. Good service from Gozo, and he couldn't redirect the thing, put it in the net, sent it wide from about 5-6 yards in front of goal. It was a really good opportunity. They really let LAFC off the hook there. That's a bad miss. And then they had Victor Olatunji in front of goal twice. I don't know how he headed that ball off the ground, off his foot, and over the crossbar. That was miraculous geometry. That should have been a goal. And he had another good chance. But the guys who can finish goals, as Pablo Alex is saying, he said again last night, it's the hardest thing to do in soccer. And so the guys who can do it get paid a lot of money. The highest paid team in the league is Inter Miami, and a lot of money is going to Messi, and you know about Messi finishing goals. And the second highest paid team is LAFC, and guess who they're paying? The 2 guys who scored. And RSL is down around 20th with less than half the payroll of LAFC. So there you go. They've got opportunities now. They're right back at it in Portland Saturday night, and Portland played they split the points, actually. They got a late goal. They were getting beat. And they got a goal in stoppage time and ended up 2-2 with Dallas. So RSL will try again Saturday. The games are coming fast and furious. We'll see if they have the depth to handle it. They've got 4 injuries. Justin Glad didn't play last night and is not expected to play probably for at least a month. Probably longer than that, but just say a month for now, and we'll see a month from now how far away he is. 8:30 Saturday night for that game. All right, DJ and PK, that is what is trending. Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. No job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Coming up today, got a little slow spot in the calendar. So we're going to look ahead to the NFL season. That's right. Kevin Graham will join us 8 o'clock. We'll talk with him. And Brian Dunseth called that game last night. He was in L.A. He will join us at 9 o'clock and look ahead to the Portland game Saturday, and we'll talk a little World Cup with him. He got to call a bunch of World Cup games, so we will talk with Dunny. We're giving stuff away today, apparently. Alex, you got to work extra hard today. Alex is going to be answering the phones. We're giving away tickets to see Post Malone with Jelly Roll and Carter Faith at Rice-Eccles Stadium July 28th. Tickets are on sale at livenation.com. We'll give those tickets away in the 9 o'clock hour. In the 8 o'clock hour, we'll give away another Lush Flag blanket celebrating America's 250th birthday. That's in the 8 o'clock hour. Normally, we'd spread this stuff out. You know, we'd give away something every day, but we're off tomorrow for Pioneer Day. So doubling up today. So stick around and you'll have a chance to win some stuff. Coming up next, the question of the day. Hot takes or toast. Stay with us.